Alrighty, so market analysis for today. Let's start with EU. So EU in the 4 hour is still bearish. That's our swing high. We don't have our swing low yet. Swing is bearish. Internal is bearish. Um, we could see price is in pullback right now after we got that shock. So I'm expecting price to pull back into some supply of internal, and then see what happened. In case we get an IBOS, then we're gonna start the swing pullback and see uh, pull back into deeper supplies. In case we respect it, then we'll see a short movement and we'll wait again we'll just follow internal until we get an IBOS, and then we'll start the swing pullback. So what happened is that we got this fractal structure creating. All right, this fractal structure creating, price just after the shock continued forming higher highs and higher lows. So I wasn't expecting price to react from this small supply. I didn't like really the supply because, well, the swap liquidity, yes, it doesn't have inducement, not well priced. It's a flip, yeah, but it didn't really mitigate anything or didn't accomplish anything. So I'm not really fan of it. I'm fan of the one above it, has inducement. So in case price will respect the internal H4, then I would potentially look for sells from this level. But for now, I'm bullish until we get minimum shock. We didn't get it this time, so I'm just following the fractal structure. M15. M15 is bearish, swing high, swing low. We have internal creating, that's our internal low, internal high. After we mitigated supply in discount, in premium, we got an internal IBOS, or just a fractal boss with fractal structure, because of course this structure is more similar to the one in the lid, so I would not count it as internal. Price put back into discount, into demand, swept liquidity, and then gave us again an II boss. So I'll just call an II boss. There you go. All right, we switch bullish. LB there. There you go. There you go. We switched bullish. So our fractal or internal low is this one, and our internal high is that one. We were expecting price to pull back deeper into more demand so we can get buys, and this is inside the internal. So I'm looking directly to get LC2As or entries, either LC2A or LC1 from the POI. Not waiting for any shock because the fractal is bullish anyway. So that's what I was waiting for. Price unfortunately didn't, just went to and mitigated the whole range, the whole internal range. I mean internal range, and then he went bullish. So just mitigated that range, switched bullish, gave us, let's call it a fractal shock, or fractal shock if you wish. Internal fractal shock. So it gave us, so that pullback is done. So now we're looking for price to continue higher. And yeah, it'll be, for now, the internal high is at the target. And then we'll see if this supply will hold. All right, if we're gonna get any shock confirming that internal one switch bearish. If not, then price will just break the internal high, and we'll start the daily pullback. I mean the swing pullback. Yeah, so that's my analysis for EU. Let's see GU. So same thing for GU. So GU is bearish. We got that swing. Looking at it now, I'll probably just call this internal. Haven't done it yet, but I'll just call it internal because it's not significant enough for me to call it a swing. I'll just call it a H4 internal and H4 internal low as well, because this pullback look more like this rather than the whole range, right? So I'll just call it internal. So that's still our swing high right there. That's still our H4 swing high. Looking for price to push or to get a pullback till there, but for now we have the internal. I will just follow the internal until we get an IBOS, right? that'll be the internal low. Yeah, there we go. So we'll just follow internal until we get an IBOS. Although I might just wait for a continuation to the upside, because I wouldn't put my money into this supply holding until we get a choke at least. So idea is to just keep buying and following this fractal structure that we got after the choke there until we get potentially an IBOS. So M15. M15 is bearish. All right, price gave us an IBOS. So swing is bearish, internal is bullish. Price just continued bullish for internal structure. All right, so that's our internal low, that's our internal high. Because internal range is quite big, so I needed to add some fractal or internal structure just so I can exactly measure the pullbacks. So that was our internal structure. That was our previous high. That was our low. We just broke it, so we got an IBOS here. All right, price just continued higher again. So our last range was this low and that high. Price just pulled back into discount, pulled back into one of the flips. So that's the flip, the extreme. Once we switch bullish, of course, we don't expect price to pull back all the way to the extreme, right? So I was just waiting for price to come to one of these levels and get an entry if there is my entry model. So once price arrived to this demand, sorry, I was just waiting for my entry. We had a fractal low be in front of the level, so that was my trigger for my LC1. Unfortunately, I entered a bit late. My entry should be there, but I entered a bit late, and yeah, that was my entry. Stop loss, I covered low, even though my rules say that I should put perhaps a 2-pip stop loss, but if you put 2-pip stop loss, then it'll be very tight, I think. And from my backtest, I noticed that I should, if I can, I should protect. Yeah, there you go. I mean, 2-pip stop loss will cover the lows anyway, but if it's tight, I might as well cover the lows, so that's what I did. And yeah, my TP was 1, 2, 3 above the highs. Right now, what happened is that we just broke the internal high. All right, so that was good. We got that choke there. I already have it. There you go. So that was the internal. I mean, that was a fractal high, right? We broke the fractal high, so fractal switch bullish as well, or internal fractal in this case switch bullish as well. So in this case, I thought we had an LC1, but this, I mean LC2A, but this high broke that previous high, so this LC1 is invalid. So from that high, do we have another LC1? We do not. No, we do not. We do not have one. I mean LC2A, sorry. No, we do not. We only have an LC1. Yeah, so that was my trade. That was the trade that I'm in right now still. For targets, I targeted 1, 2, 3. And I'm quite sure we're gonna hit it, even though we already broke the internal high, because our next supply that will serve as perhaps a pullback, quick pullback, is right here. Although this whole range could be a supply, but either way, that's our high. If I see price then pull back deeper or anything like that, I'll just put myself to break even, right? Because we already did a lot of price action, a lot of the move. I just need to double check if I should put my price at break even, but that's what I'm thinking now. We'll see if I will do it. But yeah, so we just had the continuation there, so that's our continuation. And so that one is the new internal low. I'll just mark it in a bit, but yeah, that one is our new internal low. We have this level or this demand as our demand, internal demand, and yeah, we'll see how price will do.